I am Doomsvince, and this is day 85 of Spawn Year.
I was surprised today when a new comic came out of the open grave and it wasn't Spawn 62. I was already preparing myself for another maddening session of confusion and non sequitur. Then I looked forward to shifting gears when I saw the title and returning to the future to see if subsequent exploits of Daniel Lanso might redeem that incongruous and disappointing finish to his first story. Then I saw Sam and Twitch on the cover, and for a microsecond I thought, oh cool, Sam and Twitch are going to the future. No such luck. It turns out this book is devoted to telling supplemental stories in the Spawn universe, a companion to the original title, rather than focusing solely on Daniel Lanso. The creative team remains the same, so even though we aren't in the apocalypse here, Dwayne Turner's art is still bleak and relentlessly dark. The best way I can describe this story so far is as an urban thriller with supernatural elements, though so far the supernatural part is only relegated to the third-person narrator generally discussing evil as if it were tangible, and the mention of a soul in transition at the end. Otherwise, there is no direct influence, as far as we know, from devils or demons in the gruesome and mercilessly violent slayings we witness here, nor does Spawn appear or is he even mentioned. I don't know the length of this arc or if Spawn will even appear, but I imagine some readers probably scoffed when they read a book with Spawn's name in the title but didn't see him inside, especially since there was a Spawn in the first 4 issues. Instead, our central characters are indeed Sam and Twitch, who so far are barely getting by as private investigators, taking whatever work they can get and trying not to get discouraged or lose too much personal pride, as the work mostly consists now of digging up dirt involved in marital disputes. They're called to a crime scene by police they used to work with, as the victim was one of their clients, who hired them to find out if her ex was involved in a, quote, humiliation sex cult, but they aren't able to provide any information that would help the cops find who sliced her in half, taped her back up, removed her head, and replaced it with a rose. You know, when I was in the real world, I never reviewed stuff like this. It's interesting that this isn't the story of 2 investigators who get that case, but are rather left out in the cold, humiliated by their former peers with tarnished reputations. They would love to get that case, to make a difference, but they left the force in favor of bringing Chief Banks to justice. And now they're doing the best thing they can with what very little they have. While it has a far more adult tone than the main book and is more mature about its mature material, this is a heightened reality and everything is exaggerated. It borrows a lot of its tone from detective pulps while keeping with Spawn's gothic horror atmosphere visually. It's certainly melodrama, more plot than character driven, yet McElroy gives me reasons to root for Sam and Twitch. They're underdogs with a clear and relatable motivation. They're personally motivated monetarily, but Sam in particular is driven by a compulsion to help people, despite his gruff exterior and over-the-top, stereotypical disgusting habits. He's basically the rated R Harvey Bullock. McElroy crafts a complex culture of murder. The issue opens showing us one killer doing his thing, but the girl hung from the ceiling, who Sam and Twitch see, turns out to be an unrelated crime committed by a different, yet equally deranged, serial killer. I was pleasantly surprised that in the first scene, I hadn't just seen the culprit committing the murder that's investigated in the second scene, though by the last page, we have met both lunatics. I have to say, this didn't go at all where I expected, and it's a fairly compelling thriller. I was invested fully in the story while also quite unnerved and chilled. When I put the issue down, I was certain the graveyard had gotten a few degrees colder. One of the murderers, Mobley, kills victims or innocents he believes are likely victims by other people to save them the pain of the violence that might otherwise be done to them. This city is so overwhelmingly violent it produces this kind of insanity. A man who thinks living itself is evil and something the soul must be saved from. He collects his victims' eyes, which he calls windows, and tries to record their experiences in a notebook. He goes after a harmless woman Sam nearly runs down with his car, and unfortunately Sam and Twitch are too far away to hear the gunshots. She manages to run back into the street after she's shot and gets hit by a police car. This lady is not having a good day. We're then subjected to an uncomfortably long scene, intentionally so, in which police officers in the back of an ambulance force a rookie to join in their unconscionable ritual so he won't tell on them, and then they proceed to rape the woman taking turns. I miss Superhero Rewind. She wakes up, rises in panic, and accidentally sets one of their guns off. They think she's dead, so they go to dump the body. The rookie, of course, is in shock and terror at what he was unwillingly a part of, and they take her to the Rose, an ex-boxer who gets off on slicing up women and who was the one who mutilated Sam and Twitch's client. So this nut job the police are after is actually servicing the most corrupt cops in the city by chopping up victims they kill, intentionally or otherwise. And of course, this woman wakes up while he's sawing her in half. Ah! Geez, now Doomsvince is torturing me with stories that are legitimately trying to torture me. Even the decent stuff bothers me now. These guys can do depressing, let me tell you. I'm looking forward to seeing how Sam and Twitch fall back into this plot. So far, McElroy's doing an impressive job of weaving all these acts of violence together naturally. Though I can't say I'm giddy to read more. I think I'll stay awake until my next review. Signed, Captain Logan.